All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I like to give all the praises, honor, and glory unto the Heavenly Father and His only begotten Son, Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim Kadash. Double honors and respect to my apostles and elders, a great millstone, who rule well and taught us His truth. Much love, peace, and salutations to the Lord's elect, the hopeful elect in 1/3. This is your brother Salah. All right, in today's video we are going to be covering the RFID microchip, right? It will be made mandatory soon, right? It is already here. I'm just scrolling, doom scrolling through Instagram, and you're gonna find constant videos, right? Brothers, and other and other people posting videos about this digital ID, right? Which is the M.O.T.B. That that subdermal implant it will be made mandatory very soon, right? And like in the previous video, right? They're not even hiding anymore. It says here a biometric subdermal implant is a tiny device, typically the size of a grain of rice, injected under the skin, usually between the thumb and the index finger, to store encrypted IDs, payment data, or medical records. The device uses passive RFID and or NFC technology and do not require a battery, right? And if you look down here, it says here contactless payments, right? And we already know, this goes into Revelation 13, specifically verses 16 on down, which we're gonna read soon, right? Right, but basically, right, this technology, it's already here, right? This is what the apostles and elders have been saying for years, man. Ever since they got on YouTube back in '07, right, and now look what's happened since the truth has spread forth, right? Prophecy has been speeding up, right? We're already here, right? It's June, right? And and now you're seeing a lot of people, speaking of the M.O.T.B, because why? They're getting ready to mandate it, right? All right, so let's read Revelation 13. We're gonna start at verse 11. And I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth. He had two horns like a lamb, and spake as a dragon, and he exercised all the power of the first beast before him, and causeth the earth and them which dwell therein to worship the first beast, whose deadly wound was sealed. And he doth great wonders, so that he maketh fire come down from heaven and on the earth in the sight of men, right? Esau had the power to do that through what? Dropping bombs, nuclear weapons, right? Right, making fire rain down from the heaven, right? Because that's part of his blessing, the great sword, right? Right, and deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast, saying to them that dwell on the earth that they should make an image to the beast which had the wound by the sword and did live, right? And we know all that image of the beast goes into what, right? The ideas, the philosophies, right? The lifestyle, everything that you see here in Babylon the Great, right? And well, now they're getting ready to amp that up by turning this place what into a gigantic prison, a prison planet, a digital prison planet, under technological surveillance, and having an idol placed under your skin, right? Right, to not only monitor, track, and control your behavior, right? The Esau really wants to be the Most High so badly, right? But what's the Lord gonna do, man? The Lord Yahweh Bashim Yahshua, once he implements this, the Lord's gonna fucking destroy him, right? All right, so we're gonna play the first video, or so. But before we do that, we're gonna get the copyright disclaimer. It says here, disclaimer, copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, education, research. Fair use as a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. So with that out of the way, we're going to play the first video.
And I mean everything will be digital.
Adult will need a new government-issued digital ID.
A digital ID.
Having all of your personal information stored in one place.
We will spare no effort to make Europe an AI continent.
To integrate you into this great reset.
So how soon could central bank digital currencies become a reality?
We should be helping countries to develop a national digital infrastructure.
Imagine every purchase you make, every app you use, every place you visit, all contributing to a single digital profile, a personal digital identity.
Digital.
This way, many details of your life could be stored in a unified digital record. That profile might eventually connect with your bank, your
What?
doctor, your employer, government agencies, and even your car. This isn't science fiction. It's a vision that organizations like the World Economic Forum are advocating, and that governments and tech companies are gradually moving toward.
Y'all hear this?
The rollout of this digital ID infrastructure is truly global and coordinated. Oracle founder and billionaire Larry Ellison emphasizes the need to feed AI systems an immense amount of all available government data.
For what government should do in terms of its digital infrastructure, digital ID, data centers, and so on.
The first thing a country needs to do is to unify all of their data so it can be consumed and used by the AI model. Basically, I have to tell the AI model as much about my country as I can. If you want to improve population health, you have to take all of your healthcare data, your diagnostic data, your electronic health records, your genomic data.
The benefits are clear. Digital ID will make our interactions with each other and with the state faster, cheaper, and more reliable. Facial recognition can now spot suspects in real time from live video, tracking organized criminals at borders, in public spaces, even helping find
We are embarking on a new world. For more Truth Bombs news, even in-time news, y'all follow me on Instagram. Y'all already know how it goes. Come to the YouTube channel. It's just
Yeah, and we know Jake, got this from the Apostles and Noah's a Great Millstone, right, and now Jake's starting to share it is because now the truth, right, is being made manifest. It's starting to bear fruit, man. As the scripture says, man. Let's get this out right now, real quick, so so we can prove the point. This is the book of Second Ezra. Chapter 6, verse 28. We're actually no Slocky. We're gonna start at verse 27. It says here, "For evil shall be put out, and deceit shall be quenched. As for faith, it shall flourish. Corruption shall be overcome, and the truth, which hath been so long without fruit, shall be declared." And now the truth, right now, is finally being declared, man. Call Halal Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai Bahashim Kadash, man. It's 144 right here, man. You can't make this up, man. Call Allah Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai. The Lord is pouring out His Spirit upon all flesh because why, man? The end's here. The end is being made manifest, right? You can't deny this anymore, right? And it's the month of June, right? Right. Anyways, man, people, man, and I'm not gonna say any names, and people have been scoffing about the RFID, for many years, and but now it's being shoved right into your face, right? So what the fuck are you people gonna do, man, once it gets implemented, right? Well, the answer is, and this is for the hopeful, Israelite men, women, and children, right? Is to have faith in Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, man. That's the only way we're gonna get delivered out of this fucking hellhole, man. Is to what, repent, turn back unto the Lord, right? Feel sorrowful for all the sins that you've done, right? And do your best, not to commit those sins again, man. All right. Because now's the time that we need to be walking by faith and not by sight, because things are about to get really scary out here. All right, so going back, right, deal with the biometric subdermal implant, how the technology works, NFC near field communication, right, the same short range wireless technology used in contactless credit cards and smartphones. It allows the chip to interface directly with payment terminals or smart locks, right? RFID, radio frequency identification, used as electromagnetic fields to automatically identify and track tags attached to objects, acts like a permanent digital key barcode under your skin, right? And what's that barcode link with, right? The three big barcodes: 666 chi psi stigma, man, 666. All right, contactless payment and access control used to unlock doors or smart doors such as cars, bypass turn sites at socket turnstiles at gyms and office buildings, medical ID, stores, vital emergency contacts, medical lists, or fuel electronic health records for instant access by medical professionals. The implant process procedure: sterile biopolymer glass encased in chip injected into the sub into the subcutaneous tissue using using a syringe with a local and anesthetic installation. It is typically performed by body piercers, tattoo artists, or specialized clinics, right? And so let's go back right here. Picking back up, verse 13, and he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many would not worship the beast, should be killed. What meaning? What? Cut off from society, and that's what they're getting ready to do, right? Right. Another way you can be killed is what? Cut off your access to what? Food, water, health. Else, and other benefits that you get in Esau society, right? Verse 16, and he causes all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark, a charagma, a mark, a cutting in the flesh. And we just read right here, right? It is typically performed by body piercers, tattoo artists, right, or specialized clinics, right? Piercing under the skin. And charagma, mark, in incision, right? Let's go to the Strongs, to prove that point even further. We speak on this, but we're going to speak on this again because we are at, we are right here at the time, right? And now is the time that we should be warning you people about this. I suck you. I'm losing my track. Yeah, right here, Mark.
Strong's G 5480, charagma.
Yeah, charagma. A stamp, imprinted mark on the forehead of the right hand, as follows of the anti-Mashiachs, right? A scratch or etching, i.e., an etching like a tattoo. So it's gonna go what? It's gonna go underneath the skin. It's a graven mark or sculpted figure, right? Going back to what? Idolatry, man. Because ain't nothing, because that mark is tied to what? Their AI, their so-called AI idol, right? That's what it is. They're trying to make a god, but really it's just another fucking dumb idol. All right, so going back right here, right? Cost. Basic chips can be used to purchase online through though dangerous things for around $150 payment. So yeah, so you can basically use it, to buy this, right? Privacy, because these are passwords, they cannot be used to track your GPS. No, and that's bullshit. There is gonna be no fucking privacy. This man wants to track, monitor, and control you because Esau really thinks he's the Most High, or he wants to be the Most High, but he's nothing but a fucking man. All right, so continuing on verse 17, and that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. Here is wisdom. Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for is the number of the man, and his number is 666. And again, if you go in the Strong's for 666, it goes into the word
Strong's G 5516, chi psi stigma. Chi psi stigma.
respectively 660 and 666. So the 666, right? So there is no confusion right there. That, and you see that and you see that on your barcodes whenever you purchase, and also, right, underneath this, this new Bitcoin, when it's the patent for Bitcoin, right, is 606060, right? 666, man, which is gonna be used for for your for your future transactions. So all this is tied to the M.O.T.B, right? And again, man, and the consequence for taking the M.O.T.B, you're gonna eat a fucking nuclear missile to your face, man. You gonna know that death by pain by Yahweh Bashim Al Shai, and that shit ain't gonna be pleasant too, right? So that is your fair warning right there, man. You take this mark, or you you will experience that death by pain, right? So so that's why. So that's why, man. We got prayed to the Lord Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, man, and that as it says in the Lord's prayer, man. Deliver us from evil. Deliver us from what, man, and lead us not into temptation, right? And that ultimate temptation is gonna be what, man? That RFID microchip, man. And now's the time. Now's the time that a lot of us should be doing is what constantly examining ourselves. Getting our minds right, our minds prepared for what this great and terrible day. Because this is gonna be coerced on everyone, right? They're gonna put you in situations, right? And only the elect are going to be delivered from those said situations where you're gonna have to make a choice. Either you take the M.O.T.B, or they're gonna either cut you off from society, or they're gonna kill you, man. But the Lord Yahweh Bashim Al Shai, man, may He be with His elect, and Lord willing, we be part of that elect, right? Right. So going back right here, right. Right. I asked if this will become mandatory, right? But but they're trying to deny it, right? So so I rephrased the question, right? Will this become mandatory in the case of a global pandemic? Again, AI has they're trying to deny it, right? Esau's trying to cover his ass. And then I asked, well, weren't the the jab wasn't that made mandatory for certain jobs? It was. Yeah, yes, it's saying it was, but they're not. But they're saying the microchip won't be made mandatory because it's permanent, while the supposed jab was temporary, right? Right, and they're saying better technology already exists. So I asked the last question, right? What would make biometric subdermal implants become mandatory, right? And it says right here, for biometric subdermal implants to become mandatory, society would have to undergo extreme fundamental change. The current legal landscape is heavily built to prevent this. For example, Washington recently signed a bill 2030 in law, joining at least 14 other states, including Arkansas, California, Missouri, that explicitly ban human microchipping to protect bodily autonomy. And again, man, this is a part of Esau's witchcraft, to put people to sleep. But but we're privy to this, right? 2 Corinthians chapter 2 verse 11 says, "Least Satan should get an advantage of us, for we're not ignorant of his devices." And again, part of those devices, and although we know the Quran, one of them is another one of his devices is deceit, right? His policy. Thinking that well, because they pass this in law, they're gonna uphold it. Well, that's not the case, man. Remember, this man's the devil, a fucking deceiver. So he's gonna go against all that, man. Look what happened to Gad. He went against all the treaties, and now look where they're at, man. So you best believe, man. Esau's is gonna do this to us, man. He's already not fair to his own damn people. So you best believe, right? They're gonna get ready for some sort of global catastrophe, right? Right? Or they're gonna make a way to what? Let's read here. A total collapse of the Constitution protections, legal redefinition. Supreme Courts would have to rule that the government or corporations have a legal right to alter citizens' physical body, and right, and who did Trump have as you know as his as his trusted circle, right? A bunch of fucking tech billionaires, technocrat, those oligarch technocrats, right, behind him, and you best believe, right, they're gonna do away with the Constitution, right, or they're gonna implement policies, right, to make it mandatory. Extreme, and it says extreme institutional enclosure, the prison model, right? Incarceration parole. Most likely, an initial mandate would start with convicted criminals. Courts could mandate active GPS tracking implants as non-negotiable condition for parole to replace physical prisons. High security military. The military would mandate implants for highly specialized units. This would apply the personal the personal handling nuclear launch codes ultra classified, top secret assets with standard biometric scanners that are deemed risk, right? And what are they doing right now? What no, it's called, the Anti-Patriot Act, right? Right, or an anti-patriot list, right? So, right, and what's that doing? That's basically criminalizing everyone. That's how they're gonna get everyone to take the RFID microchip, man. Is by what, Esau, going back into his accuser state, right? Categoristo, the accuser of our brethren, right? That's how Esau is going to get everyone to take the RFID microchip, man. Is accusing everyone as a terrorist, right? They create the problem, right? Some sort of terroristic threat, right? All right, and then get ready to accuse everyone that's not with his regime, right? Right, and the only way for you to not get cut off, from society, right, is to what, either you stand with this regime, right, take this RFID microchip, or be deemed as a traitor, right, meaning what, they're gonna kill you, they're gonna cut you off from society, or they're just gonna or they're gonna kill you, man. That's how Esau's gonna do it, man. Revelation 12 verse 12. He's getting ready to come down with that great wrath because he knows he has but a short time. That this is what's gonna cause. This is what's going to cause that great temptation, right? Is collapsing the Constitution, right? In that prison model, basically marking everyone as terrorists, right? So the government can allow corporations to push this RFID microchip, right? These people are totally fucking demonic, right? A total economic monopolization, elimination of cash and plastic. So no longer people using cash, cards, smartphones. No, they're gonna use that RFID microchip, right, to track and monitor you. Yep. Right. Right. The less device economy. If an authoritarian regime, right, that cruel Lord Caesar Nero, aka DJT 47, corporate model declared that external hardware was too insecure, they could mandate subdermal chip as the only legal way to access bank accounts, buy food, and receive wages, right? Revelation 13 verse, it is speaking right now, man, and soon you about to see it in effect within these coming weeks, man, within a few months, right? This ain't a joke anymore. Right, the direct foreign weaponization, subversion tactics in a futuristic warfare scenario. A foreign adversary could deploy highly advanced cyber warfare that permanently compromises all cellular networks. Right, So expect an attack from either China, North Korea, Iran, and whatever boogeyman Esau presents to you. They're gonna activate some sort of EMP, right? Right, and that's also going to lead to the famine of the war, these riots, right? And what's the only solution to that, right? The only solution to this is going to be that RFID microchip implant, right? Saying join us or be deemed as a traitor. That's how they're going to do it. It says here, summary: ultimately, a mandate would require a shift from free society to an authoritarian or dystopian state in a functioning democracy with the overwhelming public backlash, and this is what they want, right? Massive legal firewalls and availability of cheaper, superior wearable technologies, and ensure that subdermal implants remain entirely voluntary, and it won't. Why? Because prophecy is speaking right now. Oh, these devils know that they're in the kingdom, man. Speaking of these devils, right? Listen to what listen what this fucking devil Elon Musk has to say.
You know, I think some kind of brain machine interface that can give you cybernetic superpowers, I think, is probably good. It could, help people that have brain or spine injuries. Enable people who've never spoken for years to speak again, which we've done. Give people eyesight who have lost both eyes or the optic nerve, or maybe have never even seen at all, blind from birth, by direct interface to the optical centers in the brain. You can actually restore eyesight or give people eyesight that they've never had before, and you can enable people to walk again, which I think is profound. I mean, these are kind of Jesus level things, like let's say like when technologies are hitting like Jesus level miracles, that's pretty good.
And you hear this devil saying that shit so nonchalantly, right? It's it's giving Jesus level level things. Oh, that's pretty good. And basically, right? Esau Edom, man. He again, man. He wants to be like Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, man. Creating these miracles again. Revelation 13 verse 15, and he had power to give life unto the image of the beast that should both speak and cause as many to not worship the beast should be killed, right? And again, before that, and deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast, saying to them that dwell on the earth that they should make an image of the beast which he had the wound by sword and did live, right? Right, and again, man, Esau, man, he's gonna use Jake to promote this, right? Watch, watch this 2/3 right here. Who already took the Karagma. So okay, I'm gonna turn this off. Again, fair use. I don't really get a copyright ban. And you can see this Jake, bugged out of his damn mind. You have to be bugged out of your damn mind, to take this RFID implant. And basically, in this video, right, he's using Musk's fucking Neuralink to control what a damn cursor on a screen, right? Bullshit right there. So let's get the book of Daniel chapter 8 verse 25. And through his policy he shall cause craft to prosper in his hand, right? And he shall magnify himself in his heart. And you just heard this, this fucking devil here say, "Oh, we will have Jesus like powers," right? Right? Thinking he damn God, but when he's just a fucking man. And by peace shall destroy many. He shall stand up against the prince of princes, but he shall be broken without hand, right? Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Sham, Masha pot him on his ass, man. And the Lord's getting ready to fucking destroy Esau, man, and these 2/3 and heathens that that take the RFID microchip. So this last scripture, right, that I want to bring out, if I can bring it out, Lord willing. Yeah, this is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 28, verse 2. So, son of man, say this unto the prince of Tyrus. Thus saith the Lord Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, because thine heart is lifted up, and thou hast said, I am a God. I sit in the seat of God in the midst of the seas. Thou art a man and not God. Though thou set thy heart as the heart of God, the Most High. Right, and that's and that's what Esau thinks he is, man. He really wants to be the Most High. I but let's see right here. At the time, right? This was to the Prince of Tyrus, right? But nowadays, we can apply this, to Esau, Edom, right? And these wicked elite bankers and these oligarchs, right? And now Yahweh Shem Shai, man, he's getting ready to to judge, man, do away with these damn devils, right? Let's see right here. I'm not sure if that was the one I wanted to bring out. Yes, and let's jump down to verse 9. Yeah. Here it is, right? Right, Salakia. So jumping down at verse 9, right? Well, actually, no. Let's read down. So, Salakia. Yeah, verse 9 was the main point. I wanted to get out. So it says here, behold, thou art wiser than Daniel. There is no secret that they can hide from thee, right? Of course, the Lord, that's twofold, right? Yes, these people, these people have that left-handed wisdom, right? Right, to understand that, to understand, these technologies, that, Slack, to track and what's it called? So I'm losing my focus here for a second. And forgive me. Yeah, man. The Lord Yahweh Shem Yahushai, he gave Esau this technology, right? This understanding, to create the M.O.T.B. But this was in the Lord's will, so to ultimately judge Esau, man, because on the flip side, right? Esau thinks he's the greatest with this technology, but when really it's this shit ain't nothing in what Yahweh Shem Yahushai has stored for the children of Israel, man. And he's using it as a trick bag, to trick Esau in the very end, man. So to fucking to ultimately judge him, right? So behold, thou art wiser than Daniel. There is no secret that they can hide from thee, right? Esau thinks that he can track and microchip everyone, right? Verse 4, with thy wisdom and with thine understanding thou hast gotten thee riches, and hast got gold and silver into thy treasuries, and by thy great wisdom and by thy traffic hast thou increased thy riches, and thy heart is lifted up because of thy riches, right? They got very proud because from all that trading, right? Right, gold, silver, slaves and all that. Resources. Verse 6. Therefore, thus saith the Lord Yahweh Shem Yahushai, because thou hast set thine heart as the heart of the Most High. Behold, therefore I will bring strangers upon thee, the terrible of the nations, that they shall draw their swords against the beauty of thy wisdom, and they shall defile thy brightness. They shall bring thee down to the pit, and thou shalt die, the deaths of them that were slain in the midst of the seas. Well, all right. Here's the main point. Wilt thou say before him that slayeth thee, I am a god? but but thou shalt be a man and know God, and in the head of him that's slave thee. So ultimately, man, man, the Lord Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, man, has Esau in the trick bag, right? As soon as he implements this, the M.O.T.B. The Lord's gonna, put the spirit on these nations, right? They'll launch them ICBM nuclear missiles and ultimately destroy this damn devil, right? Right, and we're gonna end off with let's get this. I believe it's Job 20. Job 20:23. When he is about to fill his belly, Yahweh shall cast the fear of his wrath upon him, and shall rain it upon him while he is eating, right? And the next scripture I want to get out, Obadiah chapter 1, verse 7. All the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee and prevailed against thee. They that eat thy bread have laid a wound under thee. There is none understanding in him, right? So once this damn devil, right, starts mass implementing this RFID microchip, making it mandatory, coercing these people to take it. And once he thinks he's microchipped enough people, and that's when the Lord's gonna put the spirit on these nations to send them nukes and destroy and ultimately destroy this devil, right? And then once Yahushua comes back, beams up his elect, he's gonna put these damn devils and these heathens into captivity where they belong. So with that, I'm gonna end off the lesson right there. Hope this lesson's been edifying, uplifting, and exhorting to you, sincere Akim and Akwath. And with that, I like to say, Call Halayim La, Abanawa Yahweh Bashim Yahushai Bashim Rukakadash. Double honors and respect to my apostles and elders, a great millstone, who rule well and taught us truth. Much love, peace, and salutations to the Lord's elect, the hopeful elect, and the 1/3, His mother Salah. And with that, I like to say, Shalom.